Welcome to Relax Crochet. Today, won't you crochet along with me as I make these cute bird applique. You can see how it might be used in this picture here, provided by the pattern maker. Very adorable. Can be used on clothing. I use it in my classroom. And all I need is the pattern, which in the website is in the description box. So you go to that website and download the PDF or open the PDF, and you'll have access to the same pattern that I am using today. As we can see, it is bird and flower appliques, pattern WR1667, easy difficulty, designed by Linda Perman. Thank you, Linda Perman. There's such a cute pattern. It's easy to make and can be applied for many different animals. Once we get these basic shape, we can use this for making different animals as well. I really appreciate how simple this is and cartoony. I love the cartoon aspect of this. So hopefully all that talking and rambling on, you have been able to get to the website, download the PDF, or if you have the extension, PDF extension on your web browser, maybe you have it just simply opened on your device, and we can continue on with what you need. So simple. What you need is your hook, of course, your favorite hook, with something that will be able to cut the yarn, and your yarn choices, three colors, one for the body, one for the body and head, one for the wings and tail, and one for the beak. So here we are. This one, I'm going for super baby look for this, as I have my two adults and I have something that appears kind of teenager, rebel, maybe preteen, and now I want a baby bird. And I know that birds are born at the same time. There's they have many eggs in one batch. I don't know what that's called. Anyway, I understand that there are like 3 birds at a time, baby birds at a time, but this is not for me. This is for students, children, and it is to be able to compare sizes and colors and shapes and textures. So with all that in mind, I'm not really concerned about the actual logistics of how come there's a preteen bird and a baby bird. That's not of ultimate concern. Alright, so to begin, the pattern suggests that we begin with the body. And we can see by the diagram that depending on if you're making a right facing bird or a left facing bird, should follow the directions. They're slightly different. We just need to go and begin with the body. I'm going with a white body, blue wings, and a blue tail. I'm considering a blue head as well. I will make that decision soon. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chain. Now we slip stitch into the second. 1, 2. And single into the next chain and half double into the next, and then double, triple, and we go back to a double for this last stitch, and we're going to do 4 doubles in this last stitch. That makes an elongated circle, so an oval type shape. 1. Excellent. So I'm doing a right facing body. So I've done the chain and the slip stitch, single, half double, double, triple, and 4 doubles. This actually says, slip, that's single, half double. Oh, it looks like it's written slightly different. That explains some difficulty I was having before. The text is written slightly different than the diagram. It's good to know. Didn't realize that before. So, slip, single, half double, double, then there's a triple, and then 4 doubles. So now I'm back here. There's a triple here. There's no half double. That's the problem. Unless that is supposed to be single and that's supposed to be a slip stitch. Oh, the dot is a slip stitch? That's a single. Okay, they draw it a little differently than I'm used to. That's alright. Anyway, I did the 4 doubles here and now a triple. Double. Half double. Single. And slip. Beautiful. Now the next portion, round 2, we're just going to chain 3 and then double crochet 1 into the first stitch and then 2 in each following stitch. Fairly straightforward. Me, I'm not too concerned if I grab both strands of the stitch or just one. It does make a slight difference in, say, if you're doing a very chunky yarn, then you would definitely see those ridges. But in something so fluffy as this velveted yarn, and it's so and it's so thin that I do not believe it will make enough of a perceivable difference. I could be inconsistent or even just not as caring as I would be, as I was for the chunkier yarn. Sorry about that, my watch kept whacking the table. That was an obnoxious noise, wasn't it? Excellent. So that's it. There's the body. And yeah, he's no smaller than his big brother or sister. And great, that's the body. Next, it is recommended that we move to the head. That's the next step on the written instructions. And I do agree with that. Although you can do the tail right now if you're very good at switching colors, and you prefer to switch colors like that while there's still yarn on your hook, then this is a good time to do it because you are already attached to where the tail goes. But I will be following the instructions just to, you know, go for the easy method. It's an easy pattern because it doesn't require those more advanced skills. Here we go. I'm going to do a head, which is a chain 3 and then doubles off of the first chain. And if we look to the instructions, it reads chain 3. And I am going to change colors. Mostly because the board that I use in class is white, and so a white body will look very nice. It'll be like the baby is the same color as its environment. That's normal. But if its head was also white, it would be very difficult for my students to see the animal. So I'm going to give it a blue head to help it contrast against the white board. So now we work 9 double crochet in the third chain from the hook. Is go all the way back to the beginning. 2, 3. And 9. And it's okay if you do more or less, if you lose count. I'll just make it more rounded, a more rounded head. In this version with 9, it has a more or less flat base, so it can be a half circle very easily. What I like to do then is to sew it onto here with my hook. Now that is not part of the instructions because I guess a lot of people find it sewing is easier than crochet. I don't know. I don't find that to be true. So instead I will use these edge the 2 loops, and just crochet this on where I want it. So his little tail will go there, and his little head should go here, like he's singing a song. That's about 3 across. So 1 slip stitch, again, this is not in the directions in the pattern at all. And it's just that I find this easier than sewing, weaving the ends in a sewing fashion. I just have a hard time doing that. I know it's a me problem. Most people don't have that problem. Right, there we go. And fasten off, cut. I leave very small ends because of how I use this. In the future, I will be opening a shop where I will sell these my crochet, and those will have longer ends that are properly sewn down. However, these ones are for real use in my classroom, and I don't need them to be very strong. And the next thing, they recommend that we do the beak. Appreciate doing it in a different yarn type. So this, I'm using a cotton Superwash. It's cotton wool blend, mostly wool. Oh, this one doesn't have any cotton. Okay, well this is a wool sock. It's a sock wool. Okay, and this is a velveted polyester blend. Might be acrylic. I'm not sure. It's for baby blankets. This one's for socks. They are not the same at all. Texture, thickness, anything like that. But I feel like that really gives it a nice contrast. And truly, and when we're thinking about it, this is a bird, these are its feathers, and the beak is something else entirely. The beak, it is written out here that you should find a certain number on the head and then pull a loop through, add chain, and then double crochet into the next. It is much easier for me to understand on this diagram. You find a loop that you want the beak attached to, pull up the loop, and then chain one. From there you double crochet into a loop under below, and that will give you a little triangle. See here, I will get my chain, and I like right there. So if I put it here, the beak would be facing down. Put it here so he's facing up in a sing-song kind of cartoon pattern. And voila, I need to pull the loop through. I take that off and then pull through. All right. For this, because it is such a small amount, I appreciate looping both the tail and the lead bit of the yarn together. You feel free to disregard that if you desire a different look to your beak, but I like how it thickens the beak up, and it makes the end is kind of being weaved in, and I don't have to worry about weaving it in later. So here we go. Now after that single, I'm going to double, yarn over, right, pull through, two, pull through two. Do recognize that if you pull the yarn tail in like this, that it is a pain to undo. It's not simply pulling the tail end anymore. It's a pain, but that's nice. That means your beak is very secure. And voila, there's the beak. I'll sew it a tiny bit. I'm not going to sew it. Actually, I'm not going to sew it. So there we go. Love it. Here's the beak, the head. Now we're going to do the wing and the tail. In that order? Yes. Wing and then tail. We are almost done. The wing is exactly like the body, except you stop before you just do one round. So it's chain 7, boop, slip stitch, single, half double, double, triple, and 4 doubles, triple, double, half double, single, slip, just like what we did with the body. When doing a baby bird, you might want to consider stopping after half of the wing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All depends on the effect that you're going for. Alright, slip. Single. Triple. And then 4 doubles. I'll show you. It looks a little bit like more baby than the full wing, especially once attached. It's a little more babyish, but if we really put a concerted effort to make it super round, it will be cartoon baby-ish. So triple. Following the pattern, so you crochet along, right? Double. This one. Slip. Et voila. The wing fasten off. Pull. Wing is finished. We just attach that. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Is going to go back and forth across, and now I want to attach here certainly, so up, No, it doesn't need to be too specific. No need to worry about perfection. Is either going to be after you weave in the ends like this, you're either going to sew it onto a t-shirt like this, or you're going to be using it like I use it for education, as an educational prop. In any case, this is not, I mean, maybe you'll want to do it a little more securely. Well, this isn't, maybe you'd want to take a little more time if it's something that a very young child would play with. Or a pet. If it's actually going into someone's mouth or something's mouth, then should take a little more time on it, on the making things nice and secure. But otherwise, we're just weaving it on a little bit, filling in any holes that we don't like, making sure everything is a shape we like, and fastening it down. I like to leave about half the wing unfastened, unattached, so that I can demonstrate how birds flap their wings. But maybe this is going to be for a shirt, and then you would want to attach it a little more so that it doesn't come it doesn't catch as much in the washer and dryer. It depends on how you're going to use it, how much sewing down you need to do. I don't like that hole. Let's fill it up. That's better. That's better. Love it. And cut. Happy, happy. Look at that. Just have a few ends here we'll deal with in a minute. First, let's get that tail on. For the tail, it wants us to join with slip stitch and then double crochet, into the next stitch, and then double crochet into the third stitch. Two double crochets in the third stitch. Chain 3, do the double crochets again, chain and single crochets. I find that is a little long for the tail. And did I do it for this one? No, I still only did 2 rows for my adult. And the first one I did, the very first one, I think, yes, the very first one I did follow the instructions entirely. I'm not a fan of how it zigzags. with its tail. It's fine. Kids like it anyway, but it's not my favorite, the zigzaggy tail. Whereas when it's just one row shorter, it doesn't have quite as much zig or zag, and I feel like it is a more appropriate length for such a fat bird. Fat birds don't usually have long tails. So I am going to do that with blue, and we'll see. Feel free to stop your tail when it feels right to you. I think my adolescent bird, yeah, I just did one row because it's a baby and it just felt right. But you know, I'm not exactly 100% happy with this bird. So that's okay. We'll make another. Make another. All right. Here we go. Let's chain right off of the end, or pull through right off the end. That's a good indication of where the tail should go. Pull through, chain 3. Then let's do, double 2 in. The last. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm just going to weave in the ends. Is that good enough? Cut these off. And fluff it down. Beautiful. And these ones, almost done, almost done. I like how the weaving in the ends for this can really help blend the two colors, as a bird doesn't it make it more I guess realistic as much of a cartoon as it is. But yeah, birds don't just go from their head being blue to their body being white in immediate fashion, right? It's a gentle gradation, or it might be a sudden gradation, but there's still some bleed over of one color to the other. I like that it just happens to be able to achieve that with this pattern, simply by weaving in the ends with that in mind. For this, I'm going to wrap it around this chain and then literally make a knot. Yeah, that feels good. Cut. Eyeball. I'm back. For this guy, he just needs one little teeny loop. Go the other way. How do I decide where to put the eyeball? I don't know. Just kind of winging it. Yeah, get it? Just kind of winging it. Yeah. That was pretty good. Voila. That's it. There's my little baby bird. I hope you have also finished, or that you are on your way to finishing. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me with this crochet along for making a bird applique. Appreciate all your time and effort. This is Steph with our crochet along. reminding you to relax. Crochet.